It's no secret that there's always a luck factor to Valorant Ranked. I mean, sure, Valorant actually values competitive integrity a lot more than other popular games, or at least that's what I tell myself every night before bed. But even with all that, online Ranked really is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're gonna get.
I myself have over 5,000 games of Ranked in the last 4 years I've played this game. I know, it's a lot, and I tell you, I've seen it all. Unlosable games, no matter how hard I threw. Unwinnable games. I once had a guy trying to sell something for his business, asking for people's real phone number in chat. Anyways, this video was a game of Ranked played around Immortal 1 to Ascendant 3, which is where I am now, though keep in mind I'm still trying to get back to my peak since I stopped playing for a while, which is Immortal 3. And I can say for sure this. The first episode of this new series that I'm starting, called VALORANT Stories, is a roller coaster of emotions. Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting the game, looking at our composition here, it's definitely looking a lot towards the bright side, considering we actually have 2 duelists and not 5. And a smoke, sentinels, and an initiator. Now, we could have used with some sort of recon or information agent like Sova or Fade, or like the enemy has in this case, a KO. Also, Chamber might not be the best sentinel, but as far as ranked goes, you can consider yourself lucky if you pick duelists like me and you actually get a good comp. But I digress. We are playing in Ascent and we are starting on defense, so you cannot really ask for more, right? I mean, definitely one of the most defense-sided maps in the game. But well, let's see how it goes. The pistol round starts off pretty normal, although for some reason my team's stacking towards B. Not a problem though, considering I get not only 1 but 2 headshots on these guys coming in. One on this Jet who thought could win against me, who was holding exactly where I thought he would swing, and then I peeked out again to kill an unsuspecting Raze, who tried to grab the Jet's pistol thinking it must have been a free gun. I will say though, I have to give some credit to my Omen who put this smoke down just in time so I could peek out and back without dying. I tried to get a third one, but I felt I was probably getting too greedy and didn't want to throw an obvious 1 round. My teammates started rotating onto site, and feeling pretty comfortable, I decided to spam some shots in, try to get some damage in, and then just dash out. As soon as I finish my dash and get to 3, I realized that my teammates have for some reason left this unattended, and just as I realized that in the minimap, their Killjoy decides to peek me when I'm wide open. Thankfully, she does miss literally everything and unable to hide in time, just so that my Skye could get the kill on her right in time. Unfortunately though, right after my Phoenix is completely oblivious to the fact that the smoke is about to disappear in a main and ends up dying for it, I try to trade him and I die for it. Couldn't have more of a solo queue moment than this one. So now it's somehow a 3v2. Not for long though, because Omen forget that there's 2 people there and tries to be Superman and kill Omen, and he's TPing onto site, dying from main. And now it's somehow a 2v2 from what was actually a 5v2. And this is where it all goes to shit, in typical ranked fashion. As they're going to retake together, my Skye seems to be jiggling the smoke for some reason, very afraid to take any sort of fight. She then actually swings, shoots at the guy for a little bit, and then hides back to do a flash, allowing this guy to escape. Like, how are you this scared? I don't understand. Anyways, yeah, he didn't win the round. Next round, there's not much to say. I mean, after you lose pistol round, usually the second round will be an eco round, which is the case here. And I decide to play on A, as I always do. My team stacks towards B. Looks like they're going towards B, so maybe there's a possibility of winning. Since we did stack, I make a contact with a Killjoy on A main. However, she does appear to back off, so I do so as well. Since I'm not gonna pay attention to the flanker the whole time, even if she is going to flank, we're still gonna get rolled on B anyways. So I decide to make my way over there. I go back around to spawn with my Omen so that we can help on B and mid. Killjoy decides to actually push all the way up, risking that I could just be camping in any corner or that anybody else could be camping there. He just walks up and one-taps both me and my Omen. So yeah, take that for a round. Okay, now into the third round, finally the buy round. Hopefully now we can make a little bit of a comeback on the rounds. This is supposed to be a round that we should win on paper, but looking at the minimap and how my team is starting up in the B side, it's looking kind of scary for me, okay? If they do decide to come A, I'm probably going to die or have to give the site, but I just wish I had one more player with me on A. Now, they do end up going for a B rush, and just looking at the minimap at where my team is at, given that we have 3 people towards B, I'd say this round is looking very promising, but no, never mind. Instead of taking the duels with the better guns and fighting for the side, my team literally decides to go all the way back and just essentially give them all the space they wanted to do whatever they wanted. This might be as ranked can get. My Skye wants to play on site to actually stop them from pushing, but my Chamber and my Phoenix are way too scared and decide to camp out behind the smoke. After my Skye gets a kill, he ends up getting traded and dying without any trade for that, because we have players hiding inside a smoke for some reason. But it's okay. I mean, it's still a 4v4. We have guns, so it's not looking too bad. Unfortunately, after me and my Phoenix go in, he does get a kill, but their kill picks out to trade him, and we end up aligning perfectly, and we ended up getting one tap like that. I literally did not even see the guy. But yeah, just, you know, probably as unlucky as we could get to make this round a complete disaster and to plummet everyone's morale. Alright, be honest. Would you have given up by now? Because I know a lot of people who would have. It feels like the perfect mix between what feels like my team simply not trying and also getting pretty unlucky, especially on Ascent, where everyone knows you are supposed to win more rounds than not on defense, because the offense is usually going to be a pain, and given that they did have a proper Sentinel unlike us, it reassured it to me. But regardless, I always like to play it out because you never know what might happen. Ranked is very unpredictable in both good and bad ways. Maybe on defense the enemy team has no clue how to defend and you win 12 rounds back to back. There really would be no way of telling. Anyways, after we lose the next round to the enemy simply running us over because we had no guns, and my Phoenix peeking into 5 people mid, just, you know, casually sliding that there, I stick to my game plan of being on A and try to simply play my game regardless. It did not help that they decided to hit B for the 4th time in a row. Really, they did not like what I did to them in pistol round. How much did I wish I had rather picked Yoru so I would be able to TP across the map to B side instantly, but there's nothing to do now. As the enemy comes out, my Phoenix peeks onto the smoke on a timing and kills a KO that is going to get revived anyways, and then dies to the Jet, after which she places a smoke to cover her for just a fraction of a second, which is actually enough to throw me off, so I can't get the trade and inevitably kills me. I must say, looking back at this, it was a nice play from him, can't really be mad. Anyways, after that, he dashes onto side, and my Skye, who is, I guess, playing with no sound, dies to him without even bothering to turn around. Then after that, my Chamber scopes out just at the moment that this guy peeks him from the other side, and he ends up dying, and my Omen doesn't really put up much of a fight after that. Look, even though this round wasn't winnable anyways, giving the enemy Jet an ace for free like that is definitely not the play. Like, seriously, it's already 0-4. Like, should we really be handing out aces like that? Like, sure, Ascent is a defense-sided map, but once you give the enemy team this much momentum, it becomes super hard to stop. Starting the next round, there's obviously no one coming to A again, and my team is about to get rushed into B just to lose the round again. And yeah, this is definitely the last round I'm playing on A. Clearly, the enemy team is being pretty clear about it. Unless we stop their push into B one time, they won't stop doing it. I decide to flank because B side is so free that the Killjoy doesn't even bother to lurk anymore and just goes in with the pack. So I decide to capitalize and just take B main for free, helping us in the retake. Now, as we end up retaking, I smoke off back site, try to isolate angles. We ended up doing just that and end up killing literally everyone, leaving only one guy backside in a 4v1. Well, as I attempt to eliminate him with my right click, he actually one-taps me. Nice shot, I guess. Well, this is either like bro is mega good or bro is mega cheating, because he literally flicks to the Omen and kills him through the wall without having seen him at all. Like, boom, one bullet, dead. After that, my Skye just kind of misses every bullet and dies. So yeah, I don't know. It could have been a lucky wallbang, but things are starting to add up, like how he walked up behind me on my Omen on 2nd round without clearing anything, and the fact that he has a private profile. Interesting. Next round, enough is enough. If no one can stop them from going B, then fine. I will be the one to do it. And decided to grab an op just to make sure they would die for their over-aggression. I will say I did get a little bit scared as the Omen Paranoia flew right in front of me somehow without hitting me. This was the golden chance though. Even better, they would not expect me to be there. I could get a kill on an unsuspecting duelist, although I did get jump spotted anyway, so now the surprise was kind of gone. Luckily, this guy decides to still raw peek it even though he just saw me with an op. Interesting. After cashing out on that kill, I try my luck one more time, and unfortunately I whiff because I'm just bad. And then going back onto the site, me and my Omen try to hold on for dear life, but unfortunately he can't kill the Jet, who is 1 HP, and even though I still kill the KO, I'm completely alone on site with nowhere to hide from both pushes at once. After that, the 1 HP quote-unquote Ben 10s gets away with murder again by one-tapping my Chamber into oblivion, but dies for pushing his luck way too much. Then, being a 1v2, my Phoenix regains composure and takes his time. puts a wall down on the right, faking as if he's going in, but holds for pushes on the left. I would say that is quite smart from him. Doesn't get anything though, so he decides to go in. He does have his ult, however, he knows if he does decide to use it, it's probably certain death. If he would die and then there's probably like a player on lane, that would have been really bad. So he doesn't use it, he goes in, gets spotted, doesn't get wallbanged though, so they give him enough time to flash. The Omen literally isn't even blinded, but looks like his keyboard stopped working and didn't move. Then Killjoy can't react to the flash in time for the second time. Also, by the way, look at how long this Phoenix Flash is. Really, like, this has to be the worst placed Phoenix Flash of all time, but takes it anyways and dies for it, giving us our first round after already being playing for 10 minutes. After already having stopped their B push, for the next run I decided it would be a great idea to go back to A and maybe catch some kills there. However, nothing really happened for like 30 seconds, so I decided to flank since they may have been making a lot of noise on mid and B. Because of their poor map control, now they were left stuck inside market with no clear path, and because they were too scared to go into my chamber on B because of the threat of the op that had already taken down 2 of their players, they decided to instead just wait for their death in peace. Alright, now for the next round, now that didn't work, they might as well go back to what they're used to, and yup, it's another B hit. Thankfully I had already prepared for this and decided to start on mid to A link. Why did I do this? Because if they try to go mid like the other round, I would be ready for some kills, but if they go B again, I could always push mid really fast and try to flank them. Now, I did suspect there would be a player towards Styles, so I actually smoked the bottom and updrafted on top of this wall, and sure enough, there was an Omen there, pretty confused. That was enough to make him panic teleport straight into me. Like, I don't know what the idea was here, but if you guys know, you can let me know in the comments. Giving me a free kill to go into the retake of this round, we gathered around to make the push onto the site. We probably should have waited for them to plant, but I decided to go in anyways and ended up dying for that. I know I'm not perfect, sorry. Especially since I don't know why I didn't expect that guy to be there. I mean, really, I just got jet dived and there's nothing I can excuse myself with. Thankfully though, this round is pretty much unlosable when we have Phoenix ult and the chamber up as well to pick them off with. So yeah, we got this one. Next round, as the barriers go down in A, I hear what is essentially music to my ears. Footsteps. Yes, finally, they come A. They actually did wait a little bit. Then as I back off onto the side behind the smoke, the Raze throws a Roomba to clear it, and I do try to dodge it on timing, but unfortunately it doesn't really go in my favor and I end up dying. With her ult decides to dash over to mid, jumping around quite literally on top of my chamber as he panic shoots her with the op on the leg, which in return causes the Rakes to panic throw her ult down at the ground, which ends up killing her for what is essentially an interesting encounter to say the least, with my chamber somehow walking out unharmed. Now time for the retake. 3v3, definitely not a bad spot to be retaking in, but it's definitely not a good one either. This is still a winning position for the attackers. However, good for us, the Jet decides to ego swing A main into 3 people and ends up dying for it. And then after that, the Sky ult just reveals the guy main and the guy under heaven, meaning with a couple flashes and a couple trades, we end up getting the round pretty easily. Yeah, the Jet definitely threw that one. Moving on to the next round, we end up making a little bit of a comeback now, and it's not looking too bad, so definitely want to keep this going, especially since they're not going to be having that much money. Realistically, this round might already be looking like a 5-6. Definitely good news for us as they end up making noise on B. I am able to rotate pretty fast, and I end up being able to sneak on this little corner over here called Woods. Around this time, their KO seems to think that this round is very winnable, so he decides to pop his ult, and he actually flashes out. Jet jumps out with a smoke and a shotgun, and then Killjoy instantly comes out, pre-firing exactly where the guy is. Definitely not sus at all, you know, there could have been someone in lane, but he knows that's not the case. Don't ask him how he knows, he just does. As I hear the words,
"Last round in the half."
Use everything you have. We lose it anyway.
I can move over to A knowing that if they go B, I will literally just flank as fast as I possibly can. Now, I should have known that they were 1 orb away from Killjoy ult, so I probably should have played B main to stop that. It wasn't really that clear where they would go. I mean, they could have also grabbed the orb on A. Anyways, they are on B, so I flank. At the point I get mid and have cleared everything, I think to myself, if I want to push B main like I did on the previous round, considering I've already done this before, I decided not to do it. Thank God I decided that, because if I turn the outlines on, you can clearly see this Omen hiding in this corner like a rat, literally itching for somebody to walk through and take a free kill. And as we group for the retake, we had my ult, we had Phoenix ult, we even had Omen ult if he hadn't died before being able to use it. But anyways, there really was no way we'd be losing this round, except for the fact that my Phoenix pulled this little number. By the way, not only did he blind himself and not get 2 literally free kills, but then he also blinded me on the other side and got me killed. So yeah, After this strategy, our Sky tried to clean it up, but unfortunately the Jet was able to rotate to A and win the round. I love teammates. But it's alright. Even with that, we were able to clutch a quick 7-5, which in a scent attack, it's pretty good if you ask most people. If you want to see the continuation, stay tuned for part 2 in 1 week from now. Keep in mind, these videos do take me a long time to make. So yeah, bye bye.
Speak it out, 最初は誰